Today is a special day because it's the appearance day. At least today we commemorate the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. And I'm sure Ciranjiv will mention something about Lord Chaitanya. I want to introduce a little bit Ciranjiv. He's a friend of mine. We were actually initiated in the same day, in April 78.
Yep.
In April 1978. No, there was no Olympic in Korsnäsfjord. And he was engaged in book distribution, distributing books for many years. We were distributing together. Then he took different managerial positions in Scandinavia. He was temple president in Copenhagen for maybe 10 years. And for the last 20 years, he has been in the Eastern Hemisphere, in Australia. He has been temple president in New Zealand. And recently he moved back to Malaysia and is the regional secretary.
Co-regional secretary.
Co-regional secretary for Malaysia.
21 temple centers.
And besides that, he is very much engaged in preaching in China, which is kind of a very new field because it has been very restricted. So he goes to China and he holds, I don't know, weekly or twice a week classes or more.
Weekly class in China.
Classes for the Chinese devotees via Zoom. So this is where his heart is, in preaching in China. So he's visiting Copenhagen last weekend, and Martinema invited him to come here and give class, and we feel very honored.
Thank you. And I used to live in Malmö for 2 years.
Oh, I forgot, that's important.
I lived in Malmö before I moved.
Thank you to
Wow, from Lord Chan. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Chan, for giving the introduction. But I'll give another introduction before I met Lord Chan. I was born in a Buddhist family. I went to a Christian school. I grew up in a Muslim country. And I've become a Hindu Vaishnava. So all 4 major religions are covered. So today we speak a verse from the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's called Transcendental Knowledge, text number 7. But before, is there anyone who is here for the first time? First time? You may be first time here, but you know everything already. You come from India. So not considered a newcomer. But anyway, welcome. And those who have been here before, can you raise your hand, those who have been here before? Welcome back. Please keep coming back. So you all already know quite a bit of the philosophy. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So read from chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, from Bhagavad Gita as it is, text number 7. You know, when I speak, because of my accent, you have to pay very careful attention. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand what I say. So if your mind wanders a little bit, you won't understand. So you need to pay extra attention because of my accent. Yada yada hidamasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adamasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Translation is, the printing is very light color. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The word Srijami is significant herein. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation because, according to the previous verse, there is no creation of the lost form or body, since all of the forms are eternally existent. Therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests Himself as He is. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of the Dwapara Yuga of the 28th millennium of the 7th Manu in one day of Brahma, He has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because He is completely free to act in many ways at His will. He therefore appears by His own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and a disappearance of true religion. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of the Vedas makes one irreligious. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that such principles are the laws of the Lord. Only the Lord can manufacture a system of religion. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord Himself to Brahma from within His heart. Therefore, the principles of Dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhammam tu Shashat Bhagavat Pranitam. These principles are clearly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of the Vedas is to establish such principles under the order of the Supreme Lord. And the Lord directly orders at the end of the Bhagavad Gita that the highest principle of religion is to surrender unto Him alone, only, and nothing more. The Vedic principles push one towards complete surrender unto Him. And whenever such principles are disturbed by the demoniac, the Lord appears. From the Bhagavatam, we understand that Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Krishna, who appeared when materialism was rampant, and materialists were using the pretext of the authority of the Vedas. Although there are certain restrictive rules and regulations regarding animal sacrifice for particular purposes in the Vedas, people of demonic tendencies still took to animal sacrifice without reference to the Vedic principles. Lord Buddha appeared in order to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. Therefore, each and every avatar or incarnations of the Lord has a particular mission, and they are all described in the revealed scriptures. No one should be accepted as an avatar unless he is referred to by scriptures. It is not a fact that the Lord appears only on Indian soil. He can manifest Himself if anywhere and everywhere, and whenever He desires to appear. In each and every incarnation, He speaks as much about religion as can be understood by the particular people under their particular circumstances. But the mission is the same, to lead people to God consciousness and obedience to the principles of religion. Sometimes He descends personally, and sometimes He sends His bona fide representative in the form of His son or servant, or Himself in some disguised form. The principles of the Bhagavad Gita were spoken to Arjuna, and for that matter, to other highly elevated persons, because he was highly advanced compared to ordinary persons in other parts of the world. 2 plus 2 equals 4 is a mathematical principle that is true in the beginner's arithmetic class and in the advanced class as well. Still, there are higher and lower mathematics. In all incarnations of the Lord, therefore, the same principles are taught, but they appear to be higher and lower in various circumstances. The higher principles of religion begin with the acceptance of the 4 orders and the 4 statuses of social life, as will be explained later. The whole purpose of the mission of incarnation is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere. Such consciousness is manifest and non-manifest only under different circumstances. The verse again. Yada yada hidamasya glani bhavati bharata avyuttanam adamasya tadatmanam sujamaham. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and the predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Om Magyana Timrandasya Gananjana Salakaya Shaksumritam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preceptare Srimati Jayapadaga Swami Namne. Nama Cha Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayani Gaura Kata Damadaya Nagra Kamtarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preceptare Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivasesa Sunyavadi Pasacha Deshatarine. So in these few verses of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling us that he appears in this world occasionally. It's not that God has forsaken us. Because in the later part, Mayavamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, he said we are eternally part and parcel of him. And he is the seed-giving father of all living entities. So just like the father would not forsaken the children, even the children sometimes may be naughty. Sometimes the children may leave home. But the father is always thinking, how can I bring this child back? He's always thinking of the welfare of the child. So similarly, Krishna is also always thinking of the welfare of the living entities. Living entities who have forgotten him. Living entities who have turned away from him. You see, the suffering of the material world is not because it's God-given. We created the suffering for ourselves. It's just like the sun. The sun is giving sunlight to everyone. So when you go out in the sun, you feel the warmth of the sun and its light. But if you stay away from it, you hide from it, of course there will be darkness. It's not that the sun is not giving us light. It's just that we are staying away from the light. So Krishna, his benevolence, his mercy is given to everyone. But some are taking and some are not taking. Therefore, and sometimes people, they create their own religion, which is very common in the Kali Yuga. So Krishna took the trouble to appear 5,000 years ago, and seeing the condition of the world, he utilized Arjuna, his friend, who took the position of a disciple, and took that opportunity to speak of Bhagavad Gita. Although the Bhagavad Gita was spoken in the battlefield, it was actually also meant not only for those who were present, but it is also meant for those who are yet to come. Because if you really consider the world we're living in, it's like a battlefield. Sometimes we say that after the Second World War, the establishment of the United Nations, there was peace. That's not true. After the Second World War, there's always been some kind of war going on around the world. There's never been complete peace around the world. There always been some skirmishes. There always been some war going on. You have Vietnam War, you have Korean War, and then in Africa you have a war, civil war, and nowadays we have a Ukraine war, and South America have their war, and who knows what else is going to come. So there always been some disturbances. There's never been real peace. And the reason why there's no peace is because people have forsaken their identity as spiritual being, and they identify with the body. So when they identify with the body, we also identify with nationality, our race, our religion, and because of all this artificial identification, we create wars between each other, and we create unnecessary differences, and that's why all this conflict arises. I remember when I first came to Sweden as a new devotee, and there was this, those who were around that time in the late 70s, 80s, there was a very big tension there when America started putting all these missiles in Germany, pointing towards Soviet Union. There were a lot of peace marches in those days. So it was a very tense situation between the Warsaw Pact and NATO. Anytime this thing can blow up. But I was considering, why does the American hate the Russians so much? And why does the Russian hate the Americans so much? Generally, the people, the citizens of those two countries have never met one another. They don't even know one another. But because they identify American and Russian, so we are enemies. Similarly, in the Middle East, you have the Palestinian, then you have the Israeli, then because of the identification, they think they are enemy. So it's all this body concept is causing all these problems. And that's all due to we are turning ourselves away from Krishna. Krishna is light. Therefore, he appeared, took the trouble to give us all this knowledge again in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And he gave so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita. But what is his final instruction? Savadaman parikjaja mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam savapapebhyo mokshayisami masucha. Yes, I've given so many different paths and people are following so many dharma. But ultimately Krishna savadama parikjaja, give it up. Give up all these different forms of religion. Now what do? Mam eka sharanam raja. You just surrender to me, Mam, and eka, alone. Krishna demands exclusivity. It's not like in India, one very popular form of worship is Panchapasana. You worship 5 different gods. People worship 5 gods because they're not sure who is the supreme. Maybe this one is supreme, maybe that one. So, okay, we worship all 5. We worship Surya, Durga, Shiva, Ganesh, and Vishnu. This is called shotgun worship. Shotgun is for people who cannot shoot straight. So when they shoot, there's many pellets. Hitting out, hopefully they hit the target. But as for the sniper, their mantra is 1 shot, 1 kill. Now, if you know what you're doing, you don't need. Therefore, you see in Indian family or India, when they do puja, what do they do? There's so many, everyone is on the altar. All the different devas are on the altar. And then they do the puja like. Everyone. Hopefully, they hit on the right one. So, therefore, Krishna says, Savadaman Parijaya, give it up. Just surrender to me alone. And what happens when you surrender to Krishna? I will free you from all sinful reaction. I will free you. I will give you liberation. And if you still have any doubts, in the end, Krishna says, Masucha, do not worry. So that was the final instruction that Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita. But then after Krishna left, there was a Kali Yuga descended. As long as Krishna was there, he could hold back Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's influence was withheld. But as soon as Krishna left, Kali Yuga started to come because it's time for Kali Yuga. And with Kali Yuga means everything is bad. Manda sumanda bhagya apatayo, manda bhyaga upatita. We are short-lived. We're less intelligent. You don't get justice unless you have a lot of money. Only those people with money will get justice. You stole a loaf of bread and you put it into jail. You steal millions, you're free, and you go through the court system. Delay and delay and delay. And then finally you get sentenced and you get pardoned. Isn't it? You see that everywhere around the world. So there's no justice. And nicely described the hippie movement, you'll be known as a beautiful, you have long hair. Like the hippies, they have this long hair, very beautiful. So on all this is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And people will just come up anything they say. They come up with any philosophy, speculate any philosophy. You're not known as a great learned person or great sage unless you create your own philosophy. So everyone is speculating, twisting the philosophy this way, that way. And people are gullible. No, the tendency to worship someone is there. But because they don't have proper knowledge, they will say, oh, this is a sadhu, that is sadhu. Anyone who's dressed like a saffron is a sadhu. They speak any nonsense and think, oh wow, very enlightened. Very enlightened. So it's going on, and they attract thousands and tens of thousands of followers everywhere. But they don't lead them anywhere. They do not give them the ultimate destination of Paramgati, which is going back to Krishna. So all this started happening, Kali Yuga, and became worse and worse and worse. So Narad Muni, he was a great sage. He can travel to different planets. He don't need any rockets. He play on his veena, the instrument, and he's chanting Radhika Ramana, Radhika Ramana. And on the sound of his veena, he travel throughout the different universe. Just like yogis in India, yogis by mantra they can do so many things. So these are all very subtle signs that the modern day scientists have yet to discover. So they don't need rocket. Narada Muni just travel on the sound of his veena. He can travel anywhere. And he's also Trikalagyan. He can see past, present, and future. So with his transcendental vision, he could see that Kali Yuga has descended. So what is going to happen to the people? Who is going to guide them? What is their means of salvation? So he went to Dwarka to see Krishna. And that was before Krishna left. And at that time, Krishna, he had 16,100 queens and palaces. So at that time, he was with one of his favorite queens, Satyabhama. And he has sent words ahead, informed his first queen, Rukmini, that he will be going to her palace soon. And Rukmini was preparing the palace, everything was decorating very nicely, clean everything, scented perfume, flowers everywhere. So it was preparing everything to receive her husband, Krishna. And finally, Krishna came. And she received him very well, set him on the best seat. But Krishna noticed that Rukmini, although was very happy to receive him, but at the same time something was bothering her. So he said, my dear Rukmini, I cannot understand. You are so happy to receive me, but at the same time there's some sadness in your face. And just at that time, looking out the window, he saw Narada Muni coming. And he invited Narada Muni to come in. They both washed his feet. He said, dear Guruji, please welcome. And Krishna also noticed that Narada Muni, there was some anxiety in his face. So Krishna was wondering what is going on. He said, Guruji, you're in transcendence, so you're always blissful. But today I see that you are a bit in anxiety on your face. And I come home, I see also my wife is happy to receive me, but she's also in anxiety. What is going on here? So he asked his wife, and Rukmini said, you won't understand. Only Radharani will understand. And Krishna was thinking, what a puzzle. What does she mean by that? And they asked Narada Muni, so why was the cause of anxiety? So Narada Muni said, I could foresee that Kali Yuga is approaching very fast. And I can see that you're going to be winding up your pastimes on this earth. So when you go back to the spiritual world, Kali Yuga will be fully descended. And it's going to be very bad for everyone. Religion will be flourishing everywhere. Then who is going to deliver all these people? who is giving them, who's going to guide them, who's going to give them the pathway to break free from Kali Yuga and go and attain their spiritual perfection. So this is my concern. So Krishna thought for a moment. He said, okay, to pacify you and your concern, I will appear in Kali. I'll personally appear again in Kali Yuga. But this time I will not appear in my form as Krishna. I will appear as Krishna in my personal form. I will appear in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is darkish color. But when he appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his form was golden. Because Radharani's form is golden, molten gold. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but in the mood of Radharani. So in other words, it's a combination of Radha and Krishna in one. When Radha and Krishna combine, that's the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When it's separate to enjoy, that became Radha Krishna. So they're non-different. And he came, he said, I will come to deliver, and I will initiate the Sankirtana movement, that people can easily achieve salvation by the chanting of the holy name. There are different yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. So in Satya Yuga, people go to the forest to perform meditation, austerities for many, many years, because in those days, at that time, people live for a long time, up to 100,000 years. So they may spend 40, 50, 60,000 years performing meditation and austerity to achieve perfection. And Treta Yuga, then they achieve perfection by performing great sacrifices, which require a lot of gold and silver, mountains of grains and ghee to do that. And Dwapara Yuga, they will have a very elaborate deity worship in the temple, worship of the deities, just like you see sometimes in some of the old temples in India, like in South India. Very, very opulent. All the altar, all the paraphernalia, this all made of gold and silver, not plastic. But in Kali Yuga, all these facilities are not easily available. People don't live so long, and people are not practiced to perform such austerity. Yes, yoga is very popular. People go to yoga classes once a week, twice a week, three times a week. They spend an hour twisting their body around, and then they go back and do what? There's nothing spiritual there. So, therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, this is Kali Yuga is going to be very bad. It's going to be very difficult for people to attain perfection in the normal way. So I'll make it very easy for them. I'll introduce the chanting of the most powerful form of salvation, which is the chanting of the holy name. And in the Upanishad, it stated, Harinam, Harinam, Harinama Kevalam, Kala Nasi, Eva Nasi, Eva Nasi, Eva Gatyanyata. There is no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. It's not by karma, it's not by jnana, it's not by yoga. Just simply chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. Now when the scripture repeat 3 times, it is for emphasis, and to emphasize how important it is. So therefore it's emphasized 3 times. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. Not just one time. Just in case you have any doubt. That verse said, forget about it. There's no other way. And what is the only way? Chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. But what holy name? Then the next verse will state, chant these 16 syllables of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So it's specifically given that this chanting of these 16 syllables of Hare Krishna mantra, not some self-created, man-created mantra. In India, there are different groups. They will create different mantras. They will do a different combination of Hare Krishna mantra and other things. and create, but it will not have the same effect because it's not a bona fide mantra. Mantra is a very specific syllabus. And man means the mind. Tra means free. The mantra means to free our mind from the misconception that we have that I'm this body, and free ourselves from this bondage, of this material bondage, and help us to realize our true spiritual nature. And Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna mantra is known as a Maha Mantra. It's the great mantra. It's not an ordinary mantra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'll come to personally introduce and spread this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra for everyone and make it easy. And unlike Krishna, they say, Savadama Prigya, he said, first you surrender unto me, then I free you from sinful reaction. There was certain condition Krishna put. But in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't put any condition. He said, you just take. Therefore, yada hidamasa, he said, whenever there's a decline in religious principles and the predominant rise of irreligion, Krishna will appear. He said, I will appear and reintroduce. And in the next verse, he will say, Paritrana sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dhamma samsatpanataya sambhavame yuge yuge. What are the three reasons why he come? He said to Paritrana sadhunam is to deliver the pies and to annihilate the miscreants and to re-establish religious principles. But he would just think about it. To annihilate the miscreants, Krishna does not have to come personally. He does not have to come personally to kill the miscreants. Because as later part Krishna said, time I am, I've come to engage all men. By time, everyone is killed. Everyone get killed by time. And to re-establish religious principles, Krishna also don't have to come personally. He can also send his representative. Throughout the ages, there are so many great representatives that he has sent. Not only in our Vedic tradition, but also in other traditions, like Buddha, Jesus Christ. These are all representatives of God to come to teach religion. But of course, as Prabhupada explained in the purport, that just like mathematical calculation, 2 plus 2 is a mathematical fact, whether you are in kindergarten or in a university. Although when I was school, we had a brother monk who was teaching mathematics, and he tried to show us how 1 plus 1 is 1. You went through that also in mathematics? Do you do that? 1 plus 1 is 1? There's certain calculation where they can come to 1 plus 1 is 1. And we had the big board on the wall, and he did his calculation and filled up the whole board and come to a conclusion 1 by 1. Nobody could understand what he was trying to do or what he was going to say. But generally 1 plus 1 is 2. Doesn't matter what level of mathematics you are. But as in mathematics, just like a teacher, they will teach basic mathematics to the young children and maybe more complex as they go into university and master and finish and degree. Sometimes they talk about things I don't even know, understand what the names are. Sometimes Lord Chan tried to explain to me all this, like immediately my mind was gone. So all these spiritual teachers were there to teach religious principles, but according to the understanding of the audience. That's a good teacher. Everyone who qualified to be a teacher here need to have at least a degree in education. Sometimes even a master degree, right? So you understand higher principle. But when you teach a primary school, you teach according to the understanding of the audience. So similar, all these representatives, they are representative of God. They are great devotee, but they teach according to the audience. For example, Jesus Christ, wasn't there a statement that he made that there is a lot more about the kingdom of God that I'm not telling you now because you won't understand. He claimed that. He made that statement. And I had an interesting discussion with my boss once when he came for dinner because they were Christian. So they asked me, what about this when Jesus Christ said, I'm the only way? So I explained to them. I said, first of all, that was not the original statement of Jesus Christ. He didn't say, I'm the only way. I'm the way. He said, I'm the way. I'm the way. And I said, even if he said that I'm the only way, let's analyze that from two different angles. One is, during the time of Christ, who else was there? There was no one else. Someone said John the Baptist was there, but John came a little earlier. So he was the only way. There was no other teacher. And the other understanding that I'm the only way is only through the Guru you can understand God. Only through the Guru you can understand Krishna. And Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita that try to approach a spiritual master and inquire from him submissively and render service. Because he can reveal the truth to you because he has seen the truth. So that, you see, that also explained it. Now Buddha came for a different reason. He was also considered an incarnation, one of the 10 avatars. But he came at a time when there was irreligion was rampant. People were performing sacrifices, killing animals in the name of religion, but they were not qualified to do those sacrifices. So they were simply killing animals. So Buddha came to stop it. He came to stop. He said, don't follow the Vedas, follow me. And as Prabhupada explained the purport, the Vedas teaches religious principles. Anyone who don't follow the Vedas consider an atheist. Because religion cannot be man-made. Dhamma Tishashat Bhagavad Pranitam. Religion actually is a law of God. The law given by God, that's religion. Whatever God said, that's religion. So Buddha is reason for taking people away because they were misusing it. So better that you don't follow. Then later on, Sankirtana came to bring everyone back to, and then gradually different acharya bring back people back to the Vedas with the right understanding. And finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and his philosophy was Achincha Beda Beda Tattva. Yeah, yes, we are one with God, because everyone wants to be God. They say, yes, we are one with God, but at the same time, we are different. So how are we one with God and how are we different? We are one with God in the same quality. Just like in the ocean, a drop of water in the ocean is salty. It has the same quality as the ocean, but it is not the ocean. So we have the same quality as God, but we are not the ocean. We don't have the same quantity. So that's what simultaneously one and different. And that is the most perfect philosophy to understand the Supreme Lord and the living entity and the relationship between the two. And that was taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But even when he was here, he didn't speak high philosophy with everyone. He only discussed with philosophy with those who are highly learned, highly qualified. Right, Ramananda Roy, Prakashananda Saraswati, and he discussed with the Goswamis Vrindavan. But generally for everyone, he just said chant Hare Krishna. His instruction to everyone is just chant Hare Krishna. We do not change anything. It's not a matter of changing religion. It's not a matter of changing dress. It's not a matter of changing anything external. It's a matter of just add Krishna to your life. Just chant Hare Krishna. Because that is a religious principle that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us, has brought to us. Just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. There was one time when I was traveling South India, and he was staying in the house of this Kumar Brahmana. And when it's time for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to leave, This Kumar Brahmana wanted to give up his family and live with him. He said, he said, I'm a very wealthy man. I have a wonderful family. I have so many properties. I have land. I have great position in society and a title, highly respected. But I want to give it all up. I just want to follow you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not happy with that. He said, I don't want people to become like Makata Vairagya. Makata means renunciation of the monkeys. The monkeys, they're very renounced. They don't even have a normal dwelling. They go around naked. Then they swing from tree to tree. But when they swing from tree to tree, what do? They engage in sexual affair with female monkeys. So therefore, Prabhupada said, I don't want this artificial renunciation for the dress. It is better for you to stay home. Be with your family. Take care of your family. And add one item to your life. He said, whoever you meet, Yariteka Tarika Krishna Pradesh Amar Again Hana Tarayedesh. So whomever you meet, just instruct them in the signs of Krishna. Just encourage them to chant Hare Krishna. That's all. How difficult is that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made everything so simple. No, just act Krishna alive, chant Hare Krishna, and then tell people about Hare Krishna. That's all. And by doing that, we can achieve all perfection. Like Prabhupada was always telling his servant, what's the difficulty? What's the difficulty? So in this way, that's what we do. Stay home, do work. You need to work, you work. Take care of your family. Make Krishna the center of your home. And like the saying goes, a family that prays together, stay together. The family can come together, chant Hare Krishna together. They can read Bhagavad Gita or read Krishna book together. But the children, parents can read Krishna book to them before they go to sleep. They'll love it. They'll remember when they grow up. That's my kids now. They're grown up. They still remember. Every night you read Krishna book for him. And now my daughter, she has a daughter, my granddaughter, and she wants us to read Krishna story to her. So it's something they will never forget. So that's all. And Prabhupada said there are different ways we can surrender. There are 4 ways. One is you can give your life to Krishna. Right? There's some of the devotees, they have dedicated the whole life. They stay in the ashram, or their whole life they're just serving Krishna and engaging in spreading the words of Krishna. If you can't do that, and that's the majority of people can't do that. So if you have some wealth, you work, you earn income, make your work into yajna. And it becomes yajna when you offer some of the results of your work to Vishnu. Yajeta kamano yatra lokayam kama bandhana tad atam kamata kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Krishna said we all have to work, but work has to be done as a sacrifice to Vishnu. When you do work as a sacrifice to Vishnu, that work becomes liberating. But when we do work only for ourselves, that work will bind us to this material world. Those are the same work, but offering the results of our work to Krishna, that will be the liberation. Of course, we're not talking about giving everything. You need enough to maintain your family, live a somewhat comfortable life and all that, but give some of your result of your work and offer to Krishna for his puja, for his worship, or you can give to the center, the temple, for maintaining of the temple, creating the facility for everyone to come. So like that. And if you don't have money, it's okay. You have some skill, you can offer some skill. Of course, nowadays most of the skills from the Indian diaspora is IT skills. That can also be can use. We can spread Krishna consciousness to social media. Use that as a skill to spread the word of Krishna. If we don't even have skill, we all have a tongue. We can chant. We can chant Hare Krishna, and we can tell others about Krishna. So nobody is denied. Whatever status we have, we all have the ability and opportunity to serve and surrender to Krishna. Even the two girls, how old are you? Huh? 6.
8.
Huh?
8.
8. And you?
8.
Huh?
8.
6.
8.
Also 8. Okay. We had one girl who was the first girl born in our Hare Krishna movement. The daughter of Shama Sundar, who was a servant of Prabhupada, Shama Sundar Malati. And they were one of the 3 couples that went from America to England to establish Krishna consciousness there and met the Beatles. So this girl, he was maybe like, and when they went to India with Prabhupada, they were traveling all over in India with the parents and Prabhupada. So he was just a young girl, younger than both of you. Sometime in the Sunday feast, he will walk up to the guests and ask, "Do you know who is Krishna?" And the guest said, "No." And she, with great conviction, she said, "Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Then Prabhupada heard that. He said, "That's preaching." Someone may challenge her. "You are just a young girl, what do you know?" She said, "I know because I heard it from my father. I heard it from Prabhupada." Now, can anyone find anything wrong with that statement? No. It's the truth. So all he did was just repeat the truth. And even a child, just therefore Prabhupada said, even a child can chant Hare Krishna. Even a child can preach. So anyone can do that. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as he promised in Bhagavad Gita, that I've come now because there's declined religious principle. Now I've come to re-establish this religious principle in the form of the Sankirtana movement, in the form of the chanting of Hare Krishna. And he's inviting everyone to participate. Everyone. He especially has invited everyone born in Bharat, from India. He said, everyone who's born in this tract of land, Bharatvaras, they should perfect their life. And then teach and perform paropakara by performing this great welfare activity and teach it to others. But in India, everyone is interested in just Western. They're enamored by Western civilization. So they would rather send all the children overseas to study. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu devised a plan. Okay, you like to send your children overseas to study, no problem. I will send my Senapati, Bhakta, my commander-in-chief devotee. He will establish centers all over the world, especially in the Western country. So when all these young Indians go to the Western world, then study, they feel homesick, they feel lonely, and they see the ISKCON temple, something familiar, they go to the ISKCON temple, and they become devotee. And then they go back to India, get married, they bring the wife, and they also become devotee. The parents come and visit, they also become devotee. And now it's a different group of Indians coming to everywhere. Not just America, England, and Australia. They're coming all these to these far remote places like Sweden and Denmark. Right? And they also feel familiar. So in this way, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is capturing everyone. And people were not taking up, so Prabhupada went and bring his dancing white elephant back to India, and it's called the pizza effect. Have you heard of the phrase pizza effect? The pizza effect came from that, actually it's so popular, but pizza originally in Italy is known as peasant food. It's food for the peasants. It's not considered like a kind of high class food. The peasant food. So but then when Italians went to America, especially New York, they started establishing, because it's something they know what to do, pizza. So they established pizzeria and became very popular. And the Americans took it up. And then from America, it came back to Italy. And now it become very popular. Pizzeria is everywhere in Italy. So it's called the pizza effect. So similarly in ISKCON, you have the pizza effect. People were rejecting. Prabhupada was not getting anywhere trying to preach in India. So he went to America, brought the American European back, and all the Indians looked at him. What? Americans are doing it? Took some years, but now it's flourishing. It's flourishing in India. So many big temples now in ISKCON. In Delhi alone, we have 17 big temples. 17. So like that, Lord Chaitanya is inviting everyone. Please take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna and also then just share with others. If everyone in this room make it a point in the next 3 months, nothing heavy, just in the next 3 months, bring one person. So in 1 year, each one bring 4 persons. So you can imagine the pack. Within a short time, this whole room will be packed. So, thank you very much. Maybe we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Yeah? Do you have maybe 1 or 2 questions you want to ask? If you don't ask, that means you accept. And accept means you have to do.
So, you said do something for Krishna consciousness. You said you have to do something for Krishna consciousness. If you feel like you're not doing 100% of your potential, is it still okay or not?
Well, we don't start off with 100%. The thing is that, you know, when I was a new devotee, everything is new. And so certain things were very difficult, you know. For me, one of the most difficult things is getting up early in the morning. It's like, you know, my head barely touched the pillow and then someone is waking me up. There was no sleep in between. I said, what do you mean wake up? I just went to sleep. And that was tough. But Lao Tzu, sometimes it's credited to Buddha, sometimes it's Lao Tzu. He said, 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step. So what I told myself, doesn't matter how difficult, doesn't matter how long, I'm just live in the moment, what I need to do now, just one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. And as you go, you come to a point where it becomes more natural. So it's a gradual process. The important thing is that we keep on making progress. Every day, every morning, we don't try to compete with others. Oh, he's surrendering so much. Oh, he's doing so much. Don't worry about that. So every morning, what do we tell ourselves? Today, I'll try to be better than I was yesterday. That's a competition. Every day, try to be better than yesterday. We do it or we don't do it, doesn't matter. Tomorrow is another opportunity. Every new day is another opportunity to do something for Krishna, to surrender. We may sometimes maybe wasted 10 years of our life, 20 years of life, and you look as if I had been more serious that last 10 years, 20 I would. It's not too late. Today is another opportunity. Tomorrow is another opportunity. So gradually it adds up. 0.5% here, 0.1% there, 1% there. Yeah, gradually adds up. Don't beat yourself to try to. You see, the thing is we have to be smart enough to find ways where we can get inspired, right? So just like if I put a pizza in front of you, how do you eat a pizza? You try to shove it in.
Yes.
And you don't, and if you don't manage to eat the whole pizza, you become frustrated. Oh, I'm a failure. No, you cut it up into bite size, something that's manageable. You know, some people they're like a vacuum cleaner. They can, you know what I'm talking about. They shove it in like swallow. We have one devotee. He make pizza for everyone, like 3 of us, and we were not even halfway through, he already finished the first one. Even though he started last. Right? We don't have to compete with that. So we eat by size. Similarly, Krishna conscious, we have to deal with it by size. Something we can manage and keep on progressing. That's how we encourage. Oh, today I make very little progress. Well, it's a progress. It's still progress. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful, he's not seeing what you're not doing. He's not seeing your mistake. He's just seeing your progress. Even when you're chanting, if you're struggling with our chanting, and we feel that I'm not hearing, I'm not chanting good round. But the struggle, the endeavor that you put into chanting is purifying. And Lord Chaitanya is seeing that. He's making an effort. You see? That's how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. And you cannot understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy by logic. It's beyond logic. Does that answer the question? Anyone more? Yes.
I wanted to ask about the chanting.
You have to be louder.
I wanted to ask about the chanting. Why is it so difficult to focus, and why does it hurt your throat?
Can someone amplify it for me?
Why it's so difficult to chant? To focus on chanting.
Why is it so difficult to chant?
Yeah.
And why does it hurt in your throat? Yeah?
Yes.
And why does it hurt in your throat when you're chanting?
What is it?
In the throat.
Hurt your
Hurt.
throat.
Because it's so dry and yeah.
Oh, the throat?
Yeah.
That's just a physical thing. Just drink some water. But why is it difficult to chant? It's because we've been conditioned in materialistic life for so many lifetimes. And when you try to do something spiritual, it feels like it's something foreign to you. We feel like something unnatural. Although this is the most natural thing for the soul to do, I feel like it's unnatural. And Prabhupada, he gave the example, when you have joined this, sugar tastes horrible. Sugar tastes, but that's a cure. Is it sugar? Syrup, no, something sweet. That's a cure for jaundice. But when you taste it, it tastes bitter. It's horrible when you join this. So that's why. So because of our conditioning, even the most natural thing to do feels foreign to us. But that is the way to overcome it. That's the only way to overcome it, to keep on chanting. We base it, you see, a lot of the things we may feel differently, but we have to use our intelligence in the practice of Krishna consciousness, and that intelligence comes from studying the Prabhupada books, what he's saying, because as a pure devotee, what he's saying, you take that on face value and apply it. And in due course, you will get that realization. You may not get it immediately. Some things you get immediately, some things you don't get immediately. But it's a matter of time. Even in the mundane world, there are things we do that we seem like so difficult. Let me tell you the truth of life. Everything in the beginning is difficult. Everything is difficult until it's done. Isn't it? You consider these kids when they first start school. ABC is like climbing a mountain. They tell them to learn ABC. It's so difficult. You teach them 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 1 is so difficult. But they keep going at it, and then you learn it, become easy. So everything is hard. But don't give up. Embrace it like this is the most valuable gift. It is the most valuable gift. Okay? Shall we aim here? So thank you very much for coming. And please come regularly. And if you feel like you want to participate more, then you speak to Emma here. He's always happy and welcome if someone wants to offer some assistance. and help. It's not easy just for one person to manage everything. So she's doing a very, very good job. Shall we chant 3 Haribo for her? Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!